What's up, guys? Welcome to Future Now in the Hamptons. It's the Hamptons episode.
Did you catch that? My price still going up like NASDAQ. We send shots, make them duck like Affleck. All this fake news, can we bring the facts back? Never backtrack, still on the up and up. And nobody catching up to us. Every time we double down, then we double up. So if we keep winning, can you really call it luck?
What's up, guys? Welcome to Future Now. So you know that we had a transition from future-proof to digital discussions when we were all on lockdown here in New York due to COVID. Well, Brittany and I are back hitting the streets, and today we're coming at you live from Southampton, New York. And boy, it's a little bit different than it was a year ago when Russell and I were walking down this same street here talking about the Starbucks that we did downtown that took many years for different reasons. Don't want to go off into a tangent. So I'm standing here in front of Cinderella, which is a market that is very well known out on the East End. They have several locations, and it's a little bit different this year. So the Hamptons are typically a seasonal destination in the summer for people from all over the country. Obviously, being born and raised in New York, I spend a good amount of time in Manhattan, on the East End of Long Island, but there are a lot of people who do not even understand that there is a Long Island between Manhattan and the Hamptons, right? And now, in COVID, a lot of people are leaving Manhattan and coming to places like the Hamptons and spending a lot more time. The housing market is going absolutely crazy out here because it is no longer a seasonal destination. How does that impact the retail in the future? How does that impact the population, the schools? Everything out here is booming as a result of COVID, and it's not just a short-term thing. So we just transitioned from Hampton Road to Main Street in Southampton, and as you can see, we have some amazing retail behind us, some women's boutiques, Alice and Olivia intermix, and they're only open in season. Most of these retailers around me are open only from Memorial Day to Labor Day. They extend a little bit before the season and after the season, but it's gonna be interesting to see what happens this year with all of the New York City folks that are moving out here and have no plan to go back post Labor Day, right? So right now, you have the decision to make whether or not you're gonna put your kids back into school or are you gonna continue to let them work remotely. And it's interesting because we've noticed the postal codes are showing that I think there's been about 25,000 address changes from New York City to Long Island. And obviously that includes both Nassau and Suffolk counties. Nassau, I believe, of that 25,000 is only about 7,000 people. So Suffolk County has a lot more folks that are actually changing from Manhattan addresses to Suffolk County addresses, and they're not moving to the middle of Suffolk County. They're moving to the Hamptons. So a lot of children are going to be heading into the school season in the Hamptons as opposed to in New York City. So as I'm walking down Main Street here in Southampton, I'm noticing that the far majority of people have masks on outside. And I would do that, but it'd be tough for you right now to understand what I'm saying without seeing my lips move. But it's nice because it feels very safe here. You have a lot of outdoor space, obviously. The restaurants are using outdoor space in a meaningful way. So in the Hamptons, you typically have a shorter seasonal season for your restaurants and your retail. So people are really forced to obviously maximize their core season, essentially, right? This year, though, it's going to change because you're going to have an extended season after everybody's typically out of here, back to school in New York City and whatnot. You definitely have a decline as far as sales go. But this year, I think that's going to maintain throughout the rest of the year because people are not heading back as quickly as they would otherwise. Now, what's interesting is, like anywhere else, outdoor seating is nice when you have good weather. As the seasons turn and the fall comes, you're definitely going to be dealing with colder temperatures, and we still don't know exactly what the occupancy is going to be inside at restaurants in New York. All right, guys, so we always show you Main Street, Southampton, the different towns, Sag Harbor, East Hampton, Bridgehampton, so on and so forth, but we never really get into the residential. So I wanted to come down to Meadow Lane, 5 miles of the priciest real estate in the world and show you what these homes look like. So you have a helipad at the end of the community. The price of entry is obviously pretty damn high. I actually had Brittany meet me at an address that I just found on Zillow that was available for only a bargain price of $29 million, guys. So we should buy a few of them so we could all live next to each other here on Meadow Lane. What's not to love, right? But in all seriousness, you have some of the wealthiest people in the world, because don't forget, most of these folks are only using these homes for weeks out of the year. Must be nice. So you see a prime storefront here available for rent in the heart of the season in Southampton, next to Bandier. It's interesting. So this is Bandier's first location. They have since expanded throughout New York City. And this is one of the examples of a concept opening in the Hamptons and expanding beyond. SoulCycle is another great example of that. So the Hamptons are a very big part of the SoulCycle story and history. But you have that Manhattan clientele in a suburb that is definitely unique in nature. A lot of folks consider the East End of Long Island Disneyland because it is very unique and very different and insulated from what is going on in a lot of ways elsewhere across New York and the country. All right, guys, so another Hamptons episode, a little bit different from a year ago today, but in a lot of ways positive. The East End is definitely benefiting from a lot of folks moving out of major cities, and the retail that we're looking at today is definitely going to evolve over the next 12 months and beyond. And I think the season is definitely going to continue to extend, and the Hamptons are no longer truly seasonal. I hope you enjoyed the episode.
It's fake news, can we bring the facts back? Never backtrack, still on the up and up. And nobody catching up to us. Every time we double down and we double up.